It's time for
DodgerHeads.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. Strikes him out. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeman hits the ball. She is gone. Birthday party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads Live, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Medium Large Sports Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel. Special guest tonight, Matthew Peralta, normally of Lakers Nation, here as a Dodgers fan and a commiserator with all of us after the game that we just watched as the Dodgers lose to the Phillies. Matt, I hate that your debut is under these circumstances, but we appreciate you being here.
No, I was laughing, not because I was thinking, man, if I could blame this on Moreno, that'd be so great. I would like for, maybe it's just one too many Matthews on this channel, and maybe that's why we've got some bad luck tonight, Jeff. But all in all, it's a pleasure. I appreciate the hospitality. You've been so kind enough to host some Lakers Nation pods, so I felt like it was best for me to return the favor.
Yeah, and Phil, just from the top rope, right from the get-go, Jeff, this is clearly your fault since it's your first game back doing post-game. A lot of unlucky plays today. Not saying that's why we lost, but let's hope those go the Dodgers' way in Game 4 and they get the win. Matt was worried that he was going to be blamed. I said, Matt, I can assure you that I will be blamed because I was not here for Game 1 or Game 2 of the NLDS. We're going to ignore the fact that I was here for the wild card ones, but neither here nor there on this one. So it's on me, Matt, and I'm going to be better. But this one, look, fans, nobody's going to sugarcoat it for you here tonight. This was ugly. Yamamoto was not sharp. The offense was less sharp. Clayton Kershaw got knocked around in the 8th inning after probably escaping and getting lucky in the 7th inning. So it was just ugly all around. It felt like the Dodgers, Matt, had a couple of chances where they could have grabbed this thing. The first inning jumps out to me. Teoscar can't put the ball in play with the runner on third and just one out. But it felt like they had chances, and yet by the end, it felt like, I don't know if it would have mattered anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough part, right? When you don't capitalize on your opportunities early on in the game, it can come back to bite you. And, you kind of need that cushion, especially from what we've seen with this bullpen, which I'm sure we'll talk about also. This is a tough one, man. Like, I think they had a lot of momentum. You win 2 games at Citibank. You come here, you've got, your starting pitching's been awesome. You got Yamamoto on the bump. He's been killing it. And then, you kind of lay out this game. And I don't know. Like, is this like a regression to the mean thing because the Dodgers starters have been so good, or do you think this is just the rare Yamamoto is off and now the whole thing kind of falls apart?
Yeah, I think it's that. I think Yamamoto just wasn't sharp, and we knew it from the get-go. It was pretty clear. I mean, he had in the first inning, he gets Harper down 0-2 and ends up walking him, and you're like, that's weird. He doesn't do that. He got one pitch, Schwarber grounds out, but aside from that, I even tweeted after, I think, the 2nd inning where I was like, he has no clue where the splitter is going. Yeah. And that's kind of his key pitch. And it's like, if he doesn't figure that out at some point, then this might eventually become a problem. And unfortunately, he didn't. He threw the splitter. I had lots of people in my mentions telling me this happened because Ben Rortvedt wasn't catching. All I'm telling you is that he threw 12 splitters. 4 of them landed in the zone. And 5 times that pitch got swung at, and he did not get a single swing and miss. If you want to blame that on the catcher, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be able to stop you. I'm just saying it was the pitcher's fault. It wasn't the catcher's fault today. And look, I'm not going to say he was due because nobody is due, but I think sometimes this happens. He wasn't totally sharp tonight. Got a couple ground ball singles that got through, felt like a theme for the night, and it just wasn't his best night, unfortunately, a night when the offense kind of needed him to be perfect.
I mean, it's kind of the story of the regular season, isn't it? Yamamoto does the good stuff, and then the offense can't do it. And then when you get both of those things not clicking, you end up with a game like this. The splitter comment is obviously, I think, what everyone's going to harp on when it comes to Yamamoto's game tonight. I thought was interesting, too. I think, like, when I was watching the game, I think they even called for a couple of cutters and sliders. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting that they're calling those. Like, these don't seem like – these are, like, the 4th, 5th pitch in this arsenal, maybe. And so I thought maybe that's because it was due to, like, no command with the splitter and that kind of nature. So Tough one for the Dodgers, man. I'm with everyone. This was upsetting. I was hoping for the sweep just so we could have, a little bit of a stress-free weekend. But now we go into tomorrow midday, less than 24 hours, and have to do it all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And real quick, because I know the Rortvet thing, I already see it in the comments. Like, Ben Rortvet was on the mound when Ohtani pitched game 1. He was on the mound when Snell pitched game 2. Like, they're very good at pitching in Major League Baseball. And so I'm not saying Rortvet isn't very good at game calling and defense and all of those things. I just, watching Yamamoto tonight, and you can disagree, I think it was more of a Yamamoto thing tonight, unfortunately, than who was behind the dish. So let's get to some super chats. Again, the Phillies come back. They were down 1-0. They come from behind. They win this game 8-2. They force a game 4 tomorrow. Tyler Glasnow will be on the mound against Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies. But let's get to some super chats here. This one from NG, $22 super chat, RIP number 22, Clayton Kershaw.
Our guy.
Joseph, right off the bat, why would you leave Kershaw in when he got lucky to come out of the 7th clean? Did not like Will Smith's game plan with Yamamoto. Offense needs to wake up. Our lefties and Pajes have been terrible all season. We've talked about the Will Smith thing. Let's talk Kershaw because that's a big storyline. It's 3-1 when he comes in the 7th. And I'm just telling you this. I am not stating this as my opinion of what they should have done. The Dodgers do not use leverage arms when they are losing in the 7th inning of playoff games. So that crosses everybody off the list, basically except for Tanner Scott, Blake Treinen, and Clayton Kershaw. And so to Dodgers fans, I would say, of those 3, who did you want? I would guess we would all say Kershaw in that moment. He gets through the 7th. I tweeted, finally a starting pitcher or a pitcher for the Dodgers gets lucky tonight because he probably deserved to give up some runs. He did not. What was your initial reaction when he came back out for the 8th, Matt?
I was on the fence. I thought he might get a batter. See how I think Dave probably is going to see, how he would go through the order and see if he can get out of it clean again and see if he gets lucky. It's just one of those judgment calls where you're trailing in the game and you've got to figure out the rest of your bullpen for the night. And we just talked about the 3 options the Dodgers had. And to be honest with you, Jeff, I trust none of them. So give me the guy that just came out of the inning clean because I'm generally speaking a process over results guy, but when you're in the playoffs and every little thing counts, I think you kind of had to ride with the person that just got you 3 outs. And so it's hard for me to blame Dave Roberts in this situation. And I know a lot of fans are not going to hearing this, but it almost sort of reminds me of last year's playoffs where Dave was very eager to lose the battle, but win the war. So if that's another case of this, and like, the Dodgers win tomorrow, then I guess we just kind of forget about it and go on and just trust that Dave knows what he's doing. But it's just a tough one to wear when you see the Dodgers lose a game that still felt like it was winnable down in the 7th inning.
Totally. And I would have personally had Kershaw out for the 8th. And when I take him out of the game for the 8th, because I feel like he escaped the 7th. And unfortunately, because the bullpen is so bad, you have plenty of arms out there that I have no issue with you just throwing onto the dumpster fire and not caring what happens, right? Like Tanner Scott, that would have been a great moment for him in the 8th, where it's like, just stick him in, because by the account of how people are responding, nobody would be mad if Kershaw came out after the 7th. And if they do go to Tanner Scott there, I assume those people would have been content with that. But, and I said this on Twitter, once Kershaw starts to give up runs, it's a home run, it's a walk, it's an error. And then all of a sudden it's 6-1 on a Trey Turner single. As much as I hate this as the Clayton Kershaw guy, you have to let him wear it. You have to let him eat outs and keep going out there, which is what ultimately they ended up doing. And so I said before that I thought he was going to be the Brent Honeywell role. I wasn't happy about that when I said that, but that's ultimately what I think his job was on this team, to come into a game they were losing and to eat outs if it gets out of hand. That's what ended up happening. I hate to watch him do it, but after how he pitched in the 7th, I can't say I was surprised the 8th looked like it did.
No, I mean, like, I don't disagree. Like, that's why I said I was kind of wary about how to go into the 8th inning. But like I said, like, he just got me 3 outs. Maybe I can keep writing this. That's not sustainable. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But I think that just speaks to my personal lack of trust in the other options. And me thinking, oh, Kershaw's a starter, give him a couple, outs, and then he'll get going, and maybe he'll be able to carry the team the rest of the way. But I think what you saw is just exactly what you described, right? Is like, they had no outs. The Phillies were starting to stack up runs and hits and walks and whatnot. And at that point, it's like, well, what's the point of trying to save this game? So Kersh had to wear it. I'm glad that, Dave Roberts stuck with that decision. Hopefully it pays off. But yeah, just again, one of those tough ones you got to eat. I should probably zoom out a little bit too. I don't know how much you guys have talked about the series in general, but I didn't think this was ever going to be a sweep. So at some point you have to accept that the Dodgers will lose a game, maybe 2, hopefully not. And this just happens to be the one.
Totally. My prediction before was in 4. Honestly, I thought after they won 2 in Philly, there was a decent chance for a sweep because,
Sure.
not to play doomer here, this was the best from a pitching advantage perspective. Yamamoto versus Nola slash Suárez was your best chance moving forward. However, to your point, the Phillies are a really good team. Baseball's a weird sport, and the Dodgers just need to not lose 3 in a row, and we'll see if they can do that. Before we get to some more super chats, I want to say this because I think our focus has been on Yamamoto. Our focus has been on Clayton Kershaw. The reason the Dodgers lost this game, Matt, is because the offense didn't show up. This game got out of hand in the 8th inning, and it got out of hand in the 8th inning because the offense was terrible up until that point. And we mentioned it starts in the first inning with Teoscar Hernandez. Mookie gets gifted a triple because Brandon Marsh dives at a ball he had no chance of getting. He has to put the ball in play. He strikes out. Freddie Freeman gets plunked, and then Will Smith strikes out as well. So the Dodgers squander an opportunity there. They get on the board in the 3rd, but it was just the offense. Bottom of the 4th, 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Pages pops out to left, right? Bottom of the 6th, 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Max Muncy double play. It just felt like over and over and over again, the offense could not do enough to get this team into the game. And had they, there would have been different pitching decisions, surely, in the 8th inning. And I'm not defending Dave Roberts and what he did in the 8th. I'm just saying, let's not lose the forest for the trees. Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Teoscar Hernandez going 0 for 12 and with 4 strikeouts in this game. That's the reason they lose. That's number 1 on my bingo card, Matt.
Oh, no. I don't disagree with you. And just so everyone knows, me and Jeff did not talk about this beforehand. So it's not like we're just agreeing with each other. I totally agree. I think the way that Yamamoto was pitching those first 4 innings, and then the bullpen coming in, and you told me that the Dodgers had only given up 3 runs going into the 8th inning. I feel like you feel not too bad about that, especially because the Dodgers had a run on the board already thanks to Tommy Edman. So it's not like this game was completely out of control. Yeah. But when your key guys, or when just anyone really can't step up in a spot, and that's just kind of playoff baseball in my short experience living through it, is that if you don't capitalize on the 1, maybe 2 opportunities you get, that usually swings the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you're a believer in momentum, but you kind of watch the game and you watch the Dodgers miss all these opportunities, and you think they're professional baseball players, they'll shake it off, but they're human too, and you feel the momentum. It genuinely feels like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And when that's kind of the feeling or vibe for an entire game, I think it's really hard for guys to get out of that mentally. And I'm just really hoping that they're able to flush this one and get back to things quickly, because going back to Philly does not sound appetizing at all.
And I'm with you. I believe in momentum. The other thing that I shouldn't say that I believe in is desperation. And, one of the people that I like listening to talk about sports, he always says, you can't fake desperation. The Phillies were going to be more desperate today than the Dodgers, and there was nothing the Dodgers could do about it. Now, in a sport like baseball, how does desperation help you is a fair question. It seemed like Trey Turner early on was pressing a little bit. It seemed like the Phillies offense was pressing in a way that maybe it didn't help them. On the flip side, was there a lack of urgency from the Dodgers on the offensive side of things? It seems like a reach to maybe assume that there was, but in games like this is what happens in sports. When you are down with your backs against the wall, you have a level of desperation the Dodgers could not possibly match at home, game 3 with Yamamoto versus Nola on the mound. And whether or not that was the difference, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what the vibe is around both of these teams tomorrow for a 3:00 in the afternoon start, by the way.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Philly approach and the desperation things. I think that's a good point. Through the first 2 games, I felt like the Phillies, and I don't know if the stats back this up necessarily, but it sort of felt like they were willing to take first pitches and just kind of see where they go. I felt like the approach tonight was, we're going to just jump on anything that looks like it's hard stuff. And Yamamoto, unfortunately, was on the other end of that. And I felt like from that point forward, the Phillies kind of started to feel like, okay, this is like the normal offense I thought we were going to get. The first 2 games were almost outliers for me. Also, generally just a credit to the Dodgers pitching staff, but it felt like the Phillies had one of these games. They were going to have at least one of these games in this series, and I'm hoping it was just this one.
Yeah, that's the hope we're all going with. Let's get to some more of these super chats. Cordenas asks, did they punt by keeping Kershaw in? I don't think they punted, but it definitely wasn't, we're going to try and win this thing by all costs. And again,
sure,
Dave Roberts, the biggest criticism he got last year in the postseason run was the number of times he punted games. It worked. So I don't think he punted tonight, but he was somewhere between not punting and punting. Let's just say
I toward tomorrow.
He didn't not punt tonight either.
I think it's genuinely like he was just going to see how Kershaw was going to do out to out. I
Yeah.
genuinely feel that way. Like if he gets through all three again, great. And then we probably have another decision for the 9th. But I mean, I'm not going to criticize Dave. I think after last year in particular, I think he's earned my trust. So I'm not mad at the manager with an eye toward tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I think that's the interesting debate among Dodgers fans. And I think there's nuance allowed where it's like, I think we can be critical of individual decisions that Dave Roberts has made. And on this show, we have been critical of it. You just lose me at this guy sucks. He should be fired. Because
no.
I guarantee you were firing those same tweets off 12 months ago in the NLDS and then the NLCS and probably even the World Series right before he got you to a World Series title. His second, by the way, in 4 or 5 years. So I don't think Dave is perfect. I think managing a baseball team and making individual decisions throughout a game is the hardest thing. I don't think this roster outside of the starting pitching makes it easy for him. Bacon Tree touches on one of these. Ohtani and Freddie need to wake up, but then he touches on Rojas for Pages, but not for Muncy. Left on left. Nice leaving Kershaw in for a punt. Better win tomorrow or else. But this is the other thing, right? Like there's a lot of people that were like, how do they not go get Muncy against a left-hander? He's terrible against lefties, which is accurate. The flip side is Muncy's 2 for 4 tonight. Only Mookie Betts had 2 hits alongside of him. And Rojas comes in later for Pages, who's been way worse than Muncy. Muncy's hitting 160 against lefties. Pages is 1 for 19 in the postseason so far. And Rojas is kind of the only bullet you've got on the bench against left-handed pitchers. So it's like, take your pick. Like, where do you want them to deploy Miguel Rojas? Because for me, like the question I would ask is, would you rather have Muncy versus a lefty or Andy Pages versus a lefty? I would take Muncy, and you can tell me I'm crazy, but I think that's like, there's reasonable arguments on both sides.
No, like until Andy has done something to warrant that level of trust, I think I'm going to just take the better hitter and more experienced hitter in this situation. And I think that's Max Muncy. I mean, like, I think you and I both quote tweeted the Dodgers lineup today, like excited because I was like, oh, we get Will Smith and Muncy today. Like, that's awesome. Like, this is technically when the Dodgers are fully healthy. This is like their ideal lineup, isn't it? So I think you just got to go with the guys that you trust the most, even regardless of, the handedness matchup. And I even tweeted something about Andy. I was like, dude, like, we need you. Like, the defense you're providing in the outfield's great, but we need the bat, especially if the top of the lineup is not going to be doing anything.
Totally. And it's worth pointing out, by the way, the one piece of information we don't have is if Rojas was available to play the infield in this game. Because whether or not Rojas was pinch hitting for one or the other is partially at least dependent on, could he have stayed in the game for Muncy at third base? They could have shuffled some things around, moved Edman to third, and put Ha-Seong Kim at second base, I suppose. Although if you've watched Edman throw from second base, I'm not sure any of us want to see him try throwing the ball from third base in this postseason either. So I just think there were a lot of interesting decisions for Dave to make. And I think at the end of the day, he had a lot of bad ones, like decisions between bad options. Miguel Rojas didn't come through when they needed him to anyway. So what are you going to do about that? Brandon says, no more Kershaw in the playoffs, please. Game was winnable. Dave left him in too long after a bad 7th. Can we have a discussion about Shohei in October? Look, Shohei Ohtani has not been up to his normal standards in October. I'm not going to sit here and argue that. He was not bad last postseason. It was a 122 weighted runs created plus. But for a guy that we're normally used to seeing that number be like 160, 170, I understand the concern. He has not been good in this postseason. There's no denying that. He did have the game-winning RBI last night, so at least we'll give him a little bit of a break on that front. But he just hasn't come through, Matt. And now maybe the whole narrative is a little bit different if that ball to the warning track gets out and goes 3 feet further instead of falling where it did. But at the end of the day, the Dodgers, in order for them to make a run, are going to need more out of Shohei Ohtani, given the state of the roster around him. And so far, they're not getting it.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten a, do we think Ohtani start has been messing with him this series?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it's a fair question, right? I mean,
totally.
We haven't seen it, so we don't know how much that's actually affecting him. Look, there's just no way around it. Like, outside of a couple homers in the wild card against the Reds and a couple singles here and there, Shohei has just not been up to Shohei Ohtani standards, which I don't know, man. Like, I think this Dodgers team is talented enough to kind of wear that. They've won 2 games without him like being another worldly hitter, so it's not like it's impossible. But I think in spots when the Dodgers are trailing, it's just much more glaring, right?
Yeah.
Like this is ideally when your biggest stars come to life and they make a game out of it. So if anyone wants to be upset about Shohei tonight and really just this whole postseason in general, like I don't blame them necessarily. Yeah, I mean, like he has a chance to kind of quiet any sort of narrative tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, man, like I mean, like if we get away with just if the Dodgers advance and Shohei just ends up being a good pitcher but like a bad hitter the rest of the way, like how do we evaluate this postseason?
Well, and we're going to get to a conversation here in a minute about if this series does get to 5 games, who should be pitching game 5. And I think Ohtani, the hitter, might have something to say about that. I'll add that it hasn't been a great series of matchups for Ohtani with all the lefties that Philadelphia is throwing at him. But Aaron Nola on the mound in the first, that was the opportunity that I think the Dodgers needed to capitalize on. And Ohtani, at least himself, did not capitalize. Mookie almost did, but the rest of the lineup choked against Aaron Nola, who just isn't very good.
That's what was surprising, man. Yeah. Like I thought after the Mookie triple, that was the sign of like, okay, we can get to Nola, we can chase him out of the game early. Like I thought it was even interesting that they started with him to be like, I thought that was odd. It's just those things, man. Like on paper, it looks like it should go this way, and then when it doesn't, everyone's disappointed. And I think I'm kind of there with them, but at the same time, too, like you just never know. Like this is sports. This is what makes our job so fun, Jeff.
Absolutely. Aaron with the super chat. Don't think anyone predicted a sweep, so in a way, this wasn't shocking. Going to a game 4, just disappointing, I suppose. Finish it tomorrow, and that's the key, right? We knew a loss is going to feel like doom in the moment. The hope is that we wake up tomorrow. We remember that, hey, guess what? We're up 2-1. We're at home. Glasnow's on the mound for the Dodgers, a guy that they've seen for an inning and 2/3, whereas Sanchez was a guy the Dodgers hitters have all gotten a look at. They're still playing in LA. That all of those things might help the Dodgers tomorrow. Of course, we wish it hadn't gotten to this point. We wish they would have the day off, but alas, you'd rather be up 2-1 than down 2-1. So maybe look at the glass half full.
Man, you and I are in lockstep. I was just about to say, if you were talking to fans of both teams and you'd ask them which position would you rather be in right now, I guarantee you almost every Phillies fan will tell you they'd rather be up 2-1.
Yeah.
I think the sequencing of the games and how they were won is maybe it makes fans feel uneasy, right? You win 2 games and on the road, it's like, oh, well, coming home should be easier then, right? And it's like, well, when it doesn't work out that way, now you've got these expectations and now you're worried that tomorrow will be the same result, right? But you got to kind of just flush this one and remember that tomorrow is a completely different game. Whole set of different circumstances and situations will come about. But as the optimist on the Lakers Nation, for anyone that's new, I am the optimist. We got to call in the big guns for this one, Jeff.
Yeah, and I'm the optimist here. So this is a good combination. This is what people need.
It's gonna be a positive. This is negative result, but we're gonna have a positive outlook and mindset.
Totally. Aaron says this was literally game 4 of the World Series, going for a sweep. We score early, fall behind, close until it wasn't, had to have a sacrificial lamb wear it. But seeing Kershaw like that was heartbreaking.
I think that's part of it too.
Absolutely. And guess what? They won game 5. So maybe there's some optimism there. The plaintiff says, why are we punting games? Can we not do this crap anymore? $100 million in relievers. We still have to punt. Yama had no command all night. $100 million in relievers. The unfortunate part is, a lot of the money they're spending on relievers is on relievers. So it's Tanner Scott, who stinks, Blake Trinan, and Kirby Yates, who's not even on the roster. He's throwing live BP. So, yes, technically they have $100 million in relief pitchers, but those guys are the punters. Those aren't the closers. So
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, do we like? I don't think they were punting going into the 8th, personally. Like, I genuinely don't.
Yeah. I think it's hard to differentiate because if you think at it as binary of like, we are actively doing everything we can to win or we are punting and you are forced to choose between those 2 categories, I think it is safe to say they were not doing absolutely everything they could to win game number 3 tonight.
Sure.
However, there is a category in between those 2 things, which is we are not intentionally losing this game. And yet we are also not firing every single bullet we have. Like, why are we punting games? Did people want Roki Sasaki in the 8th? Like, I know that's a stretch, but if the goal is just to like throw your best players, did you want Emmett Sheehan in the game? Did you want Alex Vesia in the game? They had already burned Bonda and Dreyer, who had both done their jobs. They had burned Kershaw in the 7th. So it's like you were either getting Sheehan or you were getting Vesia or you were getting Roki or you were getting Trinan and Scott, who all of us would be saying the same thing and using the punting language. So again, I would have gone to Tanner Scott because of how bad Kershaw looked in the 7th. That is my opinion. However, like, is there really that big of a difference given how Tanner Scott has looked so far this season? I don't know. It's hard to differentiate.
Look, I get it. I did not feel confident about Kershaw coming out of the 7th, but at the same time, like I keep saying, like who is my replacement? Who is my other options here? Like I wasn't about to burn Roki. I wasn't about to burn anyone that could be even considered close to high leverage, Jeff.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make sense to me to do it. And like plus two, like if all those guys that we just named that didn't come in today, Vesia, Roki, Trinan, whoever you want, Emmett, if they come in tomorrow and the game's tied and the Dodgers end up winning, like aren't we all gonna just be happy? Aren't we gonna be like telling Dave, thank you for keeping these guys and letting Kersh wear this game? Like I mean that's just kind of the game we play, right? It's everything's hindsight's 2020. So I feel like if Kersh got out of the 8th clean, we're not talking about him.
Totally. Well, and here's an interesting note that's just coming across on Twitter. Tanner Scott was not at the ballpark tonight for personal reasons. This is being reported after the game in the last 22 minutes. I believe Dave Roberts has revealed that. So I think that adds another bit of context there as to how they handled things. Again, if Kershaw does not, so this gives more insight, right? If Kershaw doesn't go back out for the 7th, that means either Roki or Sheehan or Vesia. One of those 3 guys gets burned unless Blake Trinan can take down 6 outs from you. And Dave wasn't going to ask Blake Trinan to get 6 out. So at the end of the day, going to the bullpen as early as they did and having things play out the way that it did, this was where it was. Now, the interesting, like, if we want to just galaxy brain the crap out of this thing, Matt, my question is maybe going back to, should they have left Yamamoto in for a little bit longer?
Dude, we are tracking. I was literally going to say, if the Dodgers were truly punting this game, like let's not forget, Yama left 2 on base when he was pulled, right? Like, if we were really punting the game, wouldn't we just let him go 6? It's not like the pitch count was high.
Yeah, totally. And again, Yamamoto comes out, the 2 guys on. It's probably the right decision. I just think it's interesting on the flip side now to come back and you start doing the math on how you're going to track down all of these outs in a game that you're losing. With that, now knowing that Tanner Scott was not available, interesting stuff from the Dodgers.
Okay, one other point though, Jeff, just this is a genuine question / comment, but like for people saying that leaving Kershaw was punting, I think I could make the same argument that if you brought in any of the other guys that we talked about, you would also consider it punting, no?
Yeah, I mean, unless it was Sheehan, Roki, or Vesia.
Yeah. I'm talking about if they threw in Tanner Scott, if he was available. If they threw it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone was going to be happy unless it was going to be a leverage guy.
Totally, because if they went to Emmett Sheehan in that spot and then still lose, and Emmett Sheehan's not available for tomorrow, people aren't going to be happy. So I think, look, when your team loses, nobody's going to be happy. That's what we're all feeling tonight.
We are talking through this, but trust us, we are both upset.
Exactly. Brandon asks, is it time to bench Muncy and Pages for Colin Rojas? Move Rojas to third, Kike to center, call to left. They have not given us anything in offense. Umpire was squeezing us. Look, I understand Muncy against lefties. And they might go back to Call. Call started game 1.
Yep.
Muncy has had hits. He had 2 hits tonight. Again, only Mookie Betts had 2 hits in addition to him. And I believe yesterday, I'm pulling it up.
Max had a hit against Suárez today too, no? So he had a hit against lefties.
He was 1 for 1 last night. So, I mean, again, I know it's not pretty against lefties. I just think your options are limited. If they go, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to Call. What they do with, I don't think Rojas would play. I think Edman hits the home run tonight. Like, I think he's earned his spot. So, I could see them moving things around and having Kike play third and have have Call play left field again. So I mean, that worked for them in the first. Call got a hit and I believe was hit by a pitch or walked in his first at bat. So
yes,
I didn't like it at the time, but I could see it.
I mean, yeah, I figure Alex Call makes sense. I mean, again, what other options do the Dodgers really have? But also like, I'm just back to I trust the guys that I feel like can get me hits in big moments, and I feel like Max Muncy is that. I mean, sorry, my point actually was going to be, but I feel like it would be also unfair. Like if we're talking about Max playing, we should also probably talk about the errors at third today.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Was that just because they were already getting shellacked and he was like, whatever?
The Kershaw one.
That's the one it felt like. Yep.
That one, like everyone accused me of being an apologist. That is a challenging play that he should make. Like that's the way I'm going to describe it. if he just like Jazz Chisholmed it for anybody that watched the Yankees game today, where it's like a ground ball that's right at him that he boots, I think we're having a different conversation. Let's remember that Muncy was the guy who perfectly executed the wheel play earlier on in this series and has actually been pretty good at third base defensively. So I think it's you could make cases in all directions here.
It's I was just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say what a fun day where you got to talk about Max errors at third and Teo is actually decent in the outfield.
I know. And shout out to our guy Justin Dean, who has been absolutely
what a great catch.
He makes a great catch at center field. So at least people now believe the Dodgers when they say he's a defensive replacement.
I was just gonna say, outside of Tommy's home run, that was probably the best play the Dodgers made all day.
Yep, absolutely. Grayson says, scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are we about Sanchez? He's a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
And this is me being an optimist, though. I like the Dodgers seeing a guy for the second time in 4 games. Like, same. I just think advantage to guys like Shohei and Freddie and Mookie and all up and down the lineup. I think the Dodgers have the type of hitters who will benefit from having seen him 2 or 3 times already. He did only last 5 2/3 the first time, gave up 6 base runners, ended up with 2 earned runs. So, I would hope for more from the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers can get him for 3 tomorrow. That's my hope. So to answer the question, sorry, I didn't even answer the scale of 1 to 10. Give me a 5. I'll just go right down the middle.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm at like 6.5, maybe 7, only because like I'm always just jittery and nervous. Like you guys have been doing playoff baseball a lot longer than I have, like just in full transparency. So I'm not built quite like you guys are. Yeah. Every starting pitcher scares me. Even Aaron Nola today, when I knew coming in, it's like this is probably going to be the most advantageous opener that the Dodgers will see this playoffs, and they still didn't do anything. So that to me is a cautionary tale of like just don't take anything for granted.
Totally.
But I'm with you. Like I would prefer that the Dodgers see a pitcher that they've seen already. They were able to tag him the last time they saw him, and this time they'll have the. Well, I mean, if you want to be like an optimist, or I don't even want to say an apologist, but just an optimist in general of like, okay, maybe this was the ass kicking they needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's possible. A wake-up call, a little bit of smelling salts there. Saki Bomb says, playoff Shohei, 174, 10 strikeouts, 23 at-bats. Against lefties, he just looks lost. This has to be a concern. We talked about it earlier. It's definitely concerning, and yet, like, the people on Twitter that are calling him a bum, like, it's like, I will have confidence when he goes up tomorrow. Because he's one of the best players on planet Earth, and I know the sample size has been bad so far. And again, he wasn't bad last year. He's been bad this year. He wasn't bad last year. He just wasn't elite. So who knows?
Yeah, it's always just breaking stuff down toward the bottom of the zone, and he always seems to either look at it or swing at it, man. And it feels like he's genuinely guessing up there half the time.
Totally. And he goes through these. I would say in the regular season, we
see he had a couple slumps that were bad
stretches where it's ugly. And then he hits 2 home runs. So let's hope tomorrow's a 2 home run day. Phil asks, wasn't Yamamoto calling his own pitches on his belt? At times he was. This going back to the Rortvedt versus Will Smith thing. But again, like there's no arguing logically with the people that think this was Will Smith's fault. So
I think if Yama executes normally, I think he's fine.
100%. Yamamoto has pitched to Will Smith plenty of times this season. I don't know if people noticed that, and he was very good. The sandwich, it's rough to squeak out a win when the $700 million man slumps at the wrong time, and you have Clayton Kershaw pitching innings that actually matter. All due respect to the GOAT. Jonathan says, 4th option, this is Kershaw in the 7th. You could have stuck with Jack Dreyer. I just don't think there was any world they were going back to. Dreyer almost didn't even make it out of the 6th inning. They had Treinen warming, and he was 1 batter away from not finishing that inning. So technically that was an option, and if Tanner Scott's not available, maybe you consider it. But we'll see. I mean, I'll be curious to see, because if there's something going on with Tanner Scott, I think there's a world where they could try and replace him ahead of, not really worrying about what it would mean if he had to miss the NLCS. Maybe you try and go get a Ben Kasparius or somebody like that, Justin Robleski, to add to this group. We'll see. Lucas and Sadie show, Philly lefty starters are owning Ohtani and Freddie. Need to adjust for Sanchez tomorrow. Game 4, Glasnow, Sheehan, Roki. That's the hope, right? The hope is that you can get 27 outs with those 3 pitchers. And again, I think Vesia is included in that group. So I would include Vesia and say, if you can get 27 outs with Glasnow, Sheehan, and Roki Sasaki, in addition to Vesia, that's good. And again, Freddie and Ohtani, those are 2 guys, Matt, that I trust will be able to make adjustments and will be, if anybody's going to figure this out on the fly, like Freddie Freeman's honestly probably number 1 on that list. Yes. And Shohei Ohtani isn't too far behind him.
Yeah, no, Freddie's earned so much trust with me, man. Like I just don't doubt him. I think good players are good players no matter what, and so I think they'll figure it out. Is that too optimistic and rosy? Sure, but I mean, like my experience has been like the best players usually show up when they're supposed to, and I think the Dodgers have shown that a little bit. I'm assuming that split would go like what? Are you expecting Glass to try and go 6? Or are we thinking
that would be the hope? And again, he's been incredible. And we'll talk about him a little bit later when we get to a game 4 type of a thing. But there's reason to be optimistic, and there's reason to have questions about Tyler Glass now. And so we'll table that for a second and get to it in a minute.
Sure.
David says leaving Kershaw in was so insulting. One Hall of Famer and let him get beat around like an old boxer.
I mean,
I hear you, but again, like if Clayton Kershaw speaks to the media tonight, he's not going to be mad at Dave Roberts. He's going to be pissed at himself. That he was as ineffective. Kershaw understands the role. He understands the assignment. There's a reason these guys all celebrated Brent Honeywell a year ago, because they understand what the job is when you get to that point and you don't have your stuff, but now you're down 6-1. So I understand that we can feel that as fans. I'm just telling you, Clayton Kershaw does not feel that. And he probably doesn't want people feeling sad for him because of that. He wants people to be pissed that he sucked tonight.
Yeah, look, if you guys want to be angry about, one of the best players ever to spin it, looking bad tonight and feeling like they just left him in there to die, I don't blame you one bit, but this is the job you signed up to do. Yeah. This is kind of what the Dodgers needed also. Like, why, like, yes, if the Dodgers were going to lose anyway, like, why not just burn it? Like, I understand, but like, he was already in this spot. Like I said, like, if he had gone a little bit better, he probably would have gotten pulled if it was still, like, within reach. But just the situation did not dictate that, and I thought Dave made the right call by letting him in, like leaving him in there. It's just one of those things. I would don't get me wrong, I would love to see Kersh pitch in a big moment and come through. Like I would love that. Yeah, absolutely love it. But I just don't think we're in a place where that's possible right now.
Totally. Laker Toby said, I disagree with you, Jeff. Dave was hoping to win today, but managing for tomorrow. We've seen the Dodgers come back in late innings, leaving Kershaw in. Says I give up. Sure. Again, you are not alone in that, Lakers, Toby. Doc Geo says, hope I'm wrong. Feels like the lack of hitting momentum will carry to tomorrow when the game is only in 17 hours from now. What happened to Kasparius? Got sent down to the minors, never came back up, has been throwing live BP. So I think he's still in the mix. But here's what I would say to the lack of hitting momentum. Kyle Schwarber was 0 for a million, and then he hit a ball into the roof, Matt.
Yep.
So things can change quickly.
Yeah, like if you like, this is what I was talking about. Like, do we truly know anything? Like, if you're a Dodgers fan that's already freaking out and you think Schwarber's going to hit 2 more bombs tomorrow, then I can't really help you too much there. But like, it's just so unpredictable, man. Like, if you told me Shohei Ohtani goes up there tomorrow and hits three tanks, are you going to be surprised? Probably not.
Not at all.
Again, I hear all the fans. I see the frustration. I'm one of you guys. I'm just as upset. But I think we got to just remember, zoom out. It's a 5-game series for a reason. If you didn't think there was going to be a sweep, you knew the Dodgers were going to lose one of these games, and I'm happy it's game 3 and not a potential game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to everyone, as always, by the way, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, those listening after the fact via podcast, Apple, Spotify, and Google. Over 3,000 people in here live. We appreciate all of you. GTFG couldn't have gone worse, from starting pitching to the lineup to the bullpen. I mean, I would say the bullpen maybe could have. Kershaw was bad, but let's at least say positive things about Bonda and getting out of a massive jam. Yeah, and then Jack Dreyer pitching well. So I guess this small silver lining. Mookie was good too. But where is Shohei's bat? Let's hear the apologist. Can't believe the lineup on paper versus the result. We hear you on that. The plaintiff, the matchup against Glass now heavily favor Philadelphia. We're probably going to a game 5. Hopefully Snell brings his A game. Stop defending the Roberts punt. Dakota Thor, the loss bothers me less than Kershaw being embarrassed in the 8th. He doesn't deserve to end his career that way. Letting him wear it was wrong. Again, he would disagree with you on that. 300. Once Realmuto hit his bomb, Roberts punted. Sad that Kershaw will always have that poor postseason blemish on him. Look, he has 2 World Series championships. I'm the biggest apologist, and you could say what you want. 2 World Series. Back-to-back. If it goes 5, would you start Snell? I trust him more. This is the interesting conversation,
yes,
Matt. Because if it goes to game 5, Ohtani will have had his extended rest. So as a refresher here, Sanchez is pitching on normal rest game 1 to game 4, but Ohtani can't pitch on normal rest, just as they are choosing not to pitch Yamamoto on normal rest, which means Ohtani's not available for game 4. So they're going with Glass now, which is fine. He pitched out of the bullpen in game number 1. even if he had started, he'd be on normal rest. He's going to be fine from a rest perspective, although he hasn't started since September 27th, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Game 5's where it's interesting because Blake Snell, like Jesus Luzardo, can come back on normal rest for Game 5. Or Shohei Ohtani can come back on 6 days rest in between. If it was me, I would go with Blake Snell based on what I've seen in the postseason so far and matchups and all of it. Not to mention the fact that Ohtani's bat 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in the game that he started. To me, this is actually an easy decision, Matt, that I want Blake Snell in a winner-take-all in Philadelphia.
How could you not pick Blake Snell after Game 2?
Right.
And even going back to the Red Series too. Like he's just been so reliable, man. Like it's so comforting after last year's playoffs, particularly to have a starter that goes out there and you're like, you can pencil him for 6. You know what I mean? Like I love having Blake here on the Dodgers, and I think he should absolutely get Game 5. I think he's deserved it. I think he's earned it. I genuinely think he's the best option. That's why I kind of teased it earlier. Like I'm just curious, like what Shohei looks like pitching and hitting in the playoffs. And I think the first result, like from a pitching standpoint, you're probably pretty happy with, but from a hitter standpoint, and we have a ton of angry comments about how he's not hitting well. I just think you kind of have to remove that variable. Don't even leave it up to like an interpretation of like him pitching equals bad hitting or vice versa. I would just go with Blake Snell, who's proved it. I think he is the best option for the Dodgers, and I'll ride with Blake Snell. You know, like it's not a guarantee, but I just think from a level of trust, right? I think he's probably at the top of that list.
He's as close to a guarantee as you're ever going to find at this point. 18 strikeouts and 2 starts in the postseason. Does not look rattled. Has absolutely shoved in every situation. And that's his nature as well. Like if you just go back, the Dodgers know this from 2020. The guy has been nails in the postseason on and on and on. Destination all. You had to pull Kershaw for 1. Doc let the Phillies rest Joan Duran. Here's what I would say about Duran. There was such a fascinating sliding doors moment in this game that will be forgotten to history, and that's fine.
We'll
be the last people to talk about it. But Ohtani, when he hits that ball to the wall, if Ohtani hits a home run, but even if Ohtani gets on, there's a decent chance that they go to Duran in the 7th inning of this game with another game tomorrow. And it is so heartbreaking to me, Matt, that they didn't get to that point, because if Duran has to come in the 7th, even if then they blow it out in the 8th and, whatever happens from there. But if that just goes a little bit differently, man, oh man, would that have made tomorrow a lot more interesting. Instead, Duran ends up getting rested, although he did warm up, which isn't nothing. But man, what a bizarre sliding doors moment that could have been.
Yeah, no, I saw your tweet about this, and I was thinking the same thing, because I was like, shoot, man, if you could just get to the Phillies bullpen and try to like whittle them down as much as possible, that would have been nice going into Thursday's game. Like, even though no guarantee, like Shohei hits a home run there, maybe the Dodgers are still trailing. There's still no guarantee, right? But at least you make the Phillies sweat, and you let them use some arms. But I will say, and I've seen some comments here, I mean, he didn't look the greatest the last time the Dodgers saw him. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily bank on that, but at least it gives you a little hope that he's not untouchable.
Totally. Threw a ton of pitches. But again, unfortunately, now he's going to have 2 full days off in between. So I'm not sure that matters. But I'm with you. He looks mortal, which he doesn't always. So zip code 0. You can't win when you score 1. Lay off Dave. They end up getting a second, but to zip code 0's point, who cares? It was when this game was over. Do you love Rob Thompson, by the way, going and getting a reliever in an 8-2 game to face Shohei Ohtani? Was that just pure cinema at the very end, or what?
I thought it was a man that's like, I just cannot leave anything to chance.
Yeah.
I don't blame him, man. I mean, I think it's hilarious that if you were the Dodgers in that situation, I think you would have almost done the same thing.
Yeah. The only reason I liked it as a Dodgers fan is because if that's their guy to go get Ohtani in a spot, he's now seen him once. Now Ohtani flew out on the first pitch, so maybe it won't matter. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it was wrong. I'm just saying it was funny to me. So,
no, when you're desperate, Jeff.
J-Rod, disappointing night, but I will be there tomorrow. Well, hopefully you
we
have a
all
good night
are
tomorrow, J-Rod. GTFG, on a positive note, can we have Matt Peralta on all these live shows? The guy has the energy we need. There we go.
Thank you.
We'll see. I mean, the vibes in this room have not necessarily been overly positive, so our guy's handling it well, but he might not want to.
I'm Kershaw tonight, Jeff. I'm just wearing it.
I love it.
Give me all. Yeah, I had 2 things coming into this. I genuinely, this is peek behind the curtain, guys. This is how I prepare for live shows for the Lakers Nation stream, which you guys should check out because we got basketball soon. I came here with my rookie analogy, thinking I'm the rookie. I'm going to get thrown into this post-game show, but we're going to pull it out and win this. I was ready for that. But then when I saw Kershaw starting to go, I was like, I'm going to crack a Kershaw joke here because I think Jeff would like it. So that's where it was.
He's wearing it. He's eating outs for us over on the other
Oh,
side.
absolutely. I'm shielding everyone. Daniel, Moreno, Scott, Anthony, everyone. You guys we need the big dogs for tomorrow to celebrate. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm here to just eat all of these home runs and hits.
I love it. Doc Gio, any idea why the TBS announcers have not mentioned Shohei's 1 for 14? Also strange to me there were no sweeps in any division series. It's true. The Dodgers and the Phillies and the Cubs both avoiding sweep today. Yep. There will be plenty of talk about Shohei Ohtani's struggles tomorrow. I can assure you. I bet they just have enough Shohei Ohtani material to last. So
yeah, no, they gotta save it for the broadcast because first at bat he struggles again. We're gonna bring up the number every single time from there. So I think they got it.
Mamad says Dodgers came out flat, no energy at all. Shohei needs to slow down a little. He's going through a slump right now. They need to turn around quick for tomorrow's game. Is the fact that this is a 3 p.m. game, I'll just say on paper, in isolation, I hate it.
Sure.
I hate that it's a 3 p.m. game in Los Angeles. That's stupid. I understand all the logistics of probably why that is the case. Yep. But it's definitely not an advantage for the West Coast team in this
Absolutely not.
However, is it helpful for the Dodgers to have a quick turnaround, to have 3 or 4 less hours to let this stew?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on are you the half glass full or half glass empty kind of person? I choose to be the half glass full, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that they would like to get back out there as soon as possible to kind of wash this one away. I will attest. Like, I genuinely think this is the wake up call that you brought up earlier, the smelling salt, so to speak. I think that the Dodgers needed, let's face it, man, they had won 4 games in a row. Like, I'm not going to say pretty easily, but they did win and they got themselves a lead where they knew that game 4, let's just zoom out again. The courtroom definition of a must-win game, it does not apply to the Dodgers tomorrow. It applies to the Phillies.
Yeah. It's a great point.
So I am not, don't hear what I'm not saying. I am not going to forgive the Dodgers for coming out slow again. I just won't. But you don't fake desperation like you brought up earlier. So I'm just saying that I think we're getting for another bumpy ride, and I will not be surprised if we're going to be sweating through the entire 3-4 hours of tomorrow's game.
Yeah. Dave Roberts, unsurprisingly, at the podium says, I feel good with where we're at. This game has certainly been flushed. Clayton Kershaw had similar sentiments, saying, still got a 2-1 lead. We're in a good spot. Mookie Betts, I believe, had a comment basically saying, why is everybody acting like our season ended tonight?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, Jeff. Like, you look, this is LA sports exceptionalism at its finest. This is Dodgers fans being way too in love with their team and thinking that they should win every single game because of the names on the roster. But this is professional sports. The Phillies are a very good team. I came into this series nervous, not because I thought the Dodgers were going to lose, but I'm like, well, it's still a possibility because the team they're playing is really good.
Yeah.
But look, the Dodgers have shown through 3 games, if you take the whole thing in totality, they have been the better team overall. Tonight's loss sucks, but I think you just have to remember, like, if they go on to win tomorrow, like, this whole discussion that we're having about should we be worried, like, you know, all these, like, we just don't talk about it because they're winning, right? And I think the postseason, that's all that kind of matters. And so to that, I say, like, it is not easy to sit through these games for as long as you do just to be let down at the end. But I also think that that's what makes the wins more fun.
Yeah. Dave Roberts, by the way, said again, Tanner Scott not at Dodger Stadium tonight due to personal reasons. Quote, it will come out later, but he was completely unavailable. So I guess stay tuned to Fabian Ardaya and some other of the sort of the plugged in insiders to see what information gets gathered in the next couple of hours. That'll be interesting. Charlie says, felt bad for Kershaw. You and me too, both, man. My friend. You and me both. JF, Kershaw doesn't get the 8th if the team scores at least 1 run in the bottom of the 7th,
maybe,
in my opinion.
Good point.
Or at any point in the first 7 innings. If
the game was tied, I don't think you see Kersh.
Yeah, exactly right. Jose, should they move Ohtani to second? We have to do something. I don't think they need to do anything. I think they'll be fine. They've won 4 out of 5 playoff games they've played so far. Let's not overreact to one bad game. And like the lineup thing. This has been the lineup the whole time. He's gone through slumps. Moving him to second isn't going to solve all the problems.
Like it's like the whole experience when we move Mookie back to lead and then the Dodgers still are struggling, right? It's like I think like changing something for the sake of changing something is, you know, it just screams desperation to me, and the Dodgers aren't in that position quite yet.
Yeah.
Again, no one likes to hear that, but again, this is just playoff sports and across any sport, right? It's always going to be nerve-wracking, and you're always going to want the team to do something just to look like you're doing something. But like, look, if they do that and they lose tomorrow, then what?
Yeah, exactly. Lakers, Toby, we agree here. Roberts has to manage tomorrow like it's game 5.
They absolutely should.
Yeah, absolutely agree with this one, especially with the day off and knowing that everybody that pitches tomorrow is going to be available in a game 5. But you have to defend having to go back to Philadelphia like your life depends on it, which is why they needed to make certain decisions tonight, because
full circle.
You're asking asking Sheehan or Vesia or Roki to pitch 3 times in 4 days potentially was just not going to happen. So they managed the way they could today in order to manage the way that we hope they will tomorrow. The plaintiff says Glass now 2-6 with the 5.56 ERA in the postseason. So interesting numbers. We're going to have that conversation here in a second. I promise. This one for you, Peralta NG, $24.08 super chat. Mamba mentality. Nice. Let's have the Bryant family at game 4. You will get no complaints about that one.
No, let's do it.
Dave said Tanner Scott got a flat tire on the way to the stadium. Trinan must have taken an Uber. David had all sorts of reasons for Blake Trinan why he shouldn't be available today. So running joke here with Tanner Scott and Blake
Love
Trinan.
that.
We appreciate
That's
it. Let's do the Tyler Glasnow thing. His
Sure.
last start, Matt, was September 27th. That was a long time ago. He threw 34 pitches on Saturday. We've been over it. If he had started that game, he would be still available to pitch in this one because it's normal rest. Are you concerned at all about a guy who hasn't had a true start since the last weekend of the season? Again, what feels like 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
I mean, am I nervous? Yeah, of course. But you could ask me about any pitcher tomorrow, and I'll say yes. Like even Blake Snell, like I would still feel a little nervous about if he had normal rest, even. You know what I mean? So I think that just comes with the territory. But I do see the point. I guess like when I think about these sorts of questions, Jeff, my question always just goes down to this: like, what's the alternative?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, doesn't make it any less nerve-wracking? Absolutely not. But if I just look at my options and I go, okay, like who else can I throw out there that would make me feel better? The answer is 0. Then I think I just have to roll with Glass now.
Yeah.
I wish he had more starts under his belt. I wish the numbers looked better. But I think at this point, you just have to trust that the Dodgers' talent and execution will come through. I think, I don't know, man. Am I being too optimistic here? Like, I genuinely think this is probably going to be the sloppiest game they play this series.
Let's hope. I don't think you are. Like, I think we are all responding emotionally right now to a very emotional thing that we all just had to witness. And when I say very emotional, it's watching Shohei struggle. That hurts to watch as a fan.
Oh,
watching
it's painful.
Kershaw get beat around the way he was beat around is like the worst thing ever. Watching the offense continuously get your hopes up with runners in scoring position and fail to come through. Like, all of those things wear on you. And so I understand why we would come to a post-game show and say and feel and behave the way that people are behaving. Like, we understand all of that. We are just trying to give you a deep breath, take a step back perspective of, hey, the Dodgers are up 2-1 against the Phillies. They won twice in Philadelphia. Somebody said, like, oh, man, their first 2 pitchers shoved. I'm worried about game 4 and game 5. And my response was, keep in mind the Dodgers won game 1 and game 2 when those 2 guys started. So, yes, it might not have been because the pitchers stunk. But, like, the Dodgers have been able to win games where the pitchers didn't stink. And the offense hasn't totally showed up for a game at any point in this series in a way that I think we all believe they're capable of. So I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm not worried that the Dodgers are going to lose 3 in a row, because this Phillies team is really good. And if they have to go back to Philadelphia for game 5, like, I'm going to be terrified. I'm already starting the mental preparation for what if they have to go to game 5. That's just how I'm wired. It's why I don't enjoy watching playoff baseball. But I'm also telling you the logical part of my brain says the Dodgers are the best team in Major League Baseball right now. They're up 2-1. They play at home tomorrow. All of those things say advantage Dodgers. Like,
yes.
I'm just going to look. Matt, do you have any doubt? And I'm looking this up in real time.
Sure.
Right now, odds for game number 4.
Dodgers are up. They're favored.
They would have to be favored, right?
They're favored.
Have you already looked it up, or are you just saying with confidence?
No. I'm going to go ahead and guess, knowing the bettors. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is closer to a 50-50. If you told me the Dodgers are like minus 120 tomorrow, I'd believe you.
Nailed it. Minus 126, the Dodgers. So, like, to put that in perspective.
Did not look.
That's the Tigers playing the Mariners tomorrow, but with Skubal on the mound.
Oh, I would assume the Tigers are
like that. They're minus 144. So just to put this in perspective, like, the Dodgers are heavy favorites tomorrow. these are people that are not wearing their emotions on their sleeves after watching the game when we just watched. So there you go.
This is the one time I will ever advocate for gambling, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's that
Emotional hedge.
Yeah, you just can't. Yeah, exactly. You can't bet with your emotions, man. You got to look at data. You got to look at trends. You got to look at you got to analyze what's in front of you, right? You can't be emotional. So like, just because this one sucks does not mean that this automatically equals tomorrow's result. Like
totally. And Joe Man is asking this question: how the hell are they favorites with their ace? And this is
because the Dodgers are good.
Exactly right. Everything. What you have to do is you have to understand if somebody who has no dog in the fight tells you that the Dodgers are minus 126, and your response is, how the hell is that possible? The correct answer is probably that your assumptions are wrong. That there is something in your assumptions that are being colored and flavored by the fact that you just watched the Dodgers lose game 3, and you have a strong emotional investment in the Dodgers, is the case. One note on Tyler Glasnow, by the way.
Super quick, but just the Dodgers were favored tonight, so why didn't they win today?
It's true. Heavy favorites, too. In Tyler Glasnow's last 9 starts, 3.04 ERA this season. So Glasnow has been very good of late. 3.19 ERA on the season, 10.5 strikeouts per 9, 90 innings pitched. I mean, he's been like, let's keep in mind that Christopher Sanchez is going to be like a top 3 or 4 Cy Young finisher alongside Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yep.
I'll point out Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the same category didn't pitch well tonight. So it's possible Sanchez doesn't have his best stuff tomorrow on the road at Dodger Stadium. I'm also willing to say that Tyler Glasnow is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball when he's healthy. Other than the Tigers, there probably isn't another team that wouldn't love to have Glasnow in contention for like their number 2 start. And honestly, the Tigers would take him for their
he's our number 4 guy.
He's number 4. It's crazy stuff. So, Phil says Jeff needs to make a sacrifice to the sports gods. It's win tomorrow. It's going to be me. Got 2 games to win 1. Nat is the sacrifice, actually.
It's going to be me, guys. Like, come on. Like, I will say this on the show right now, Jeff. I will only appear on bad losses to wear one for the team. But if the Dodgers continue to win, I am happy to sit out the rest of the postseason. I am willing to sit out and just watch you guys do your thing because I prefer listening to you guys when they win rather than when they lose.
See, I'm saying, though, if the Dodgers do come back to win, I think if you're available, we need to have you back on just
to redeem myself.
Not to redeem yourself, because you've been great. To redeem the moment that this has to be.
Sure.
So,
no, I don't mind. My first Lakers Nation stream was also after a loss. And I will tell you right now, it was in like February or March, and everyone was just felt like the whole season like died.
Yeah.
So I get it, guys.
Fill with positivity. We have 2 games to win 1. We have the better roster. It's not doom and gloom. Absolutely. Shelly, one of our favorites, was at the game. Bummer, but you make me feel better.
Oh.
Matthew is great. There you go. To clarify, Matthew Peralta, not Matthew Moreno.
Yeah, no, Moreno got bad food takes. I got good ones, guys.
Destination all. No Tanner, and Dave wants to go 5 innings with the bullpen. Again, like to the point we made earlier, if they had left Yamamoto in the situation that he was in, people would have been saying he punted then.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep in mind
what did you want?
Yamamoto left, back-to-back singles to lead off. So after in the 4th inning, he gave up 3 runs. So like he didn't have a choice. I think Dave, the fact that Yamamoto went back out for the 5th, I think was Dave telling you he was trying his hardest not to go to the bullpen. Because I think a lot of people were like, do we just go to the bullpen now in the 5th? Any other bullpen but the Dodgers, there probably would have been a strong push, but he tried to get one more inning out of him and just couldn't do it. So David asks, who should be starting tomorrow? We put all our main starters today. Didn't work. Go back onto the lineup from game 1 against Sanchez. I would not be surprised if that's what they do, with the exception of it has to be Will Smith over Ben Rortvedt. Like,
absolutely.
First of all, it's a lefty on the mound. So Smith as a righty makes more sense offensively, even if you're just looking lefty-righty. But Will Smith has shown you something at the plate in this series. And all due respect to Rortvedt, offensively, the expectations are nothing. I don't believe in the game calling stuff. It's that big of a gap. I don't think Will Smith's the reason Yamamoto was bad tonight. So I think Will Smith's the easy choice. Given that Alex Call has had success against Sanchez, gives you the better defense, I think you could easily talk me into that one. So I think it's Kike at 3rd, it's Alex Call in left, and it's Will Smith. So basically game 1 lineup, but Will Smith in for Ben Rortvedt would be my only change, I think, Matt.
10 out of 10, no notes. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think when and this is across all sports again too, like, I think when things go wrong, everyone's gonna want to look for something to blame. And if we've resorted to the game calling and who was behind the mound today, I think we're reaching a little bit.
Totally. Mamad says, should the Dodgers start Rortvedt and let Smith piggyback like in Philly? No, I think again, we're all complaining about the offense right now. They can't take out one of their 4 or 5 best bats in a game where we're saying they lost because the offense couldn't get it done. Jose, same lineup we used for game 1. Question with Will Smith starting. We agree with you there. Phil does make a good point. Can't rely entirely on betting odds for who the actual favorite is. The books build in more bets coming in on the Dodgers, but again, I have faith. I will say Philadelphia is not like a small market that they're not expecting money to come in on the flip side, but your point is fair. Like the actual odds of this are probably closer to like -110, and the Dodgers get like a 15-point bump because people are just going to bet on the big name and Shohei Ohtani and all of that. But I think the point stands that the Dodgers are the better team. They are the favorites to win tomorrow.
I would just like to point out, like, I personally only use betting odds just kind of like an indication of like, what does the outside world consider of this matchup? Yeah. Right. Like, obviously I'm going to be biased. I think the Dodgers can win tomorrow, but I think the world is telling you that, generally speaking, I think it's consensus. It's not consensus, but there's an expectation that the Dodgers are the better team.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes down to, like, we asked this earlier, like, do you believe in momentum? Like, do we believe that there is going to be a hangover, a carryover? Because if you don't believe in momentum, then you just block out all of the emotion that is being felt right now. And you just say, hey, we're good. Move along. Game 5. Go from there. Game 4. The same thing that you would look at game 2 or game 3. I'm looking online to see if we've had any update on anything Dodgers wise. But it doesn't look like we have, outside of the sort of cryptic quote of it will come out later. So again, I mean, I'm hoping that's like he had a kid or something like that. Nobody knew his wife was pregnant. Like that. That's what I'm hoping for.
I sure hope so, man. But it just does not sound great. Totally. The optics are not good.
Yeah. And obviously the decision, like they had other guys that were at the ballpark. So once they found that out, they could have technically made a move, I guess. I don't know. They have taxi squad guys like Kirby Yates, Ben Kasparis are both there. So who knows? NG says $13 super chat. Maybe invite number 13 from San Diego to watch the game in person to motivate the Dodgers. We appreciate the super chat, NG. Aaron says, also, just because Philly was hitting today doesn't mean they'll hit tomorrow. Yankees bats were awesome yesterday. Exactly. Terrible tonight in a bullpen game. We have Tyler freaking Glass now tomorrow. This is the point. The Yankees had the massive momentum win yesterday. They came back from down 6-1. They avoid the sweep, all of that. And guess what? They got waxed today.
Did you see the Vladdy post game? It was hilarious.
I have not.
You gotta go watch. If you want something to cheer yourself up, just him and Big Poppy, dude, crack me up.
I love it. Vladdy, it's the Yankees losing is just a beautiful thing. So
yeah, if you guys want something to cheer you up, misery loves company. So
yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's get to some questions, and let's do this. Like, can we get a couple fun questions? Can we just change up the vibe a little bit here?
Man,
like a baseball question, throw it in the chat. But Peralta's talking crap about Moreno's food takes, rightfully so. So if you want to get some food takes from this guy, go ahead. But throw some questions in the chat, all caps questions. As Matt has hinted, by the way, if you did not know, DodgerBlue.com, which I work for, is partnered with sister site to LakersNation.com, which Matt works for. And we are all on the same team, same organization. That's why, as Matt said, sometimes I'm filling in for Trevor Lane over on Lakers Nation show. Matt is filling in today for us over here. Daniel Starkin is the editor over at Lakers Nation. We're all one big happy family. Matt and Trevor and all those guys do an incredible job over at Lakers Nation. So with basketball season starting, make sure that once the Dodgers win the World Series, you guys are tuned in to everything going on. Matt, as questions are filling the chat, what's your guys' schedule? What nights are you on? What do we got coming up with obviously preseason games now happening?
Yeah, I mean, we're back to 5 days a week, basically. Videos, live streams, and games. Trevor will still do our live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If we've got game, we'll have post-game coverage there. We'll also be doing the game on playback. So if you guys are ever interested in, watching a game with me and Trevor, you're all more than welcome to do that. It's a fun time as well. Yeah, man, like October is just the best sports month, especially for a site like you mentioned. We've got football going on right now. Sorry about your Raiders.
They're bad, real bad.
Yeah, you guys. Jeff's got extremes in the sports world.
Yeah, it's not great. We got the Oregon Ducks too. So I mean, we got like arguably the best team in college football, the Dodgers, and then I have to watch the Raiders as well.
It's that you guys want to talk about Jeff making sacrifices. There's one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got some good questions in here. Let's see. Let's fire through some of these.
Oh, I see a good
Back-to-back has a baseball one. What's your level of confidence with Tyler Glasnow on the mound? I really like Tyler Glasnow. Like, my concern with Glasnow is never, is he good? It is he healthy? He's starting at home. This is a great spot for him. I think he's going to be great tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think if we're putting on a scale, I'd say I'm at a solid 7.5. If you ask me tomorrow, I might feel like I'm at a 7 only because I'm more nervous. But as we're talking right now, look, I think again, I think the macro perspective here is just coming from last year's postseason where we had like 1.5 real pitchers, Jeff. Sorry, I'll say 2. And I love Walker to death, but I think it was really Yamamoto and Flaherty for most of that run. I think to be in a position where we're quibbling over who the 4th starter is, I feel like it's almost like I feel a little spoiled at this point. So I think I feel pretty good with Glasnow. I think we brought him here originally to be like the number 2 guy.
You could argue who's going to be the number 1 guy when they
exactly.
Contract.
Yeah, so I think like that caliber of player is obviously still there with Glasnow, so I'm going to bet on that.
Yeah. Some interesting quotes. Dave Roberts was asked about Ohtani and what he's seeing. Quote, I think the lefties is part of it. I just think that his decision-making hasn't been good. You can see it's balls in, off, and he's really not giving himself a chance to hit a mistake. I just think that he's in between a little bit, but the swing decisions are just not where they need to be right now. That's kind of what I see decision-making. So sure. Exactly what you said earlier. Absolutely. Somebody had a question. TN asked, why did Yamamoto get charged for 3 earned runs? Isn't 2 runs scoring from Muncy's error? I'm not perfect on this. I believe the reason is because of the double that came later in the inning. The assumption was even if the error was not made, those runs would have come around to score in the end because the error was not like the runner. They're judging that the runner Harper would not have been thrown out at third base if Muncy had kept the ball in front of him. And so both of those runners would come around to score. I believe it was Real Muto who doubled later in the inning. So don't quote me on all of that, but I asked the same question and I believe that's the answer. So there you go. Eden has a great question. Can you match Dodger players' roles to Lakers players' roles? The easy one is Ohtani and Luka Doncic. You've got 2 of the greatest players.
International
superstar.
That's
the easy one.
Yep.
LeBron, you could kind of go LeBron Kershaw, but LeBron is way more important to the Lakers than
I would
Kershaw
say Mookie.
Dodgers. Mookie,
okay. Older veteran dude that's won titles, came here to LA, is not a natural Dodger. So I would say Mookie and LeBron make a lot of sense. And
you could go
their rivals
in that category too, right? Because he's kind of him and Mookie, same story.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it. I think Mookie and LeBron's timing is about roughly the same, right?
That's true.
So I'd go there. Austin seems
Teo's your guy. Give me the Teo comp on the Lakers.
Oh, Teo's Austin to me.
Yeah.
Because
no defense whatsoever.
No,
and just
rag on Austin for the defense, but he comes alive offensively and he's a big game player. I think that's Teo 100%. I think DeAndre Ayton is starting to look like I don't know. This is your guy, by the way,
I
Jeff.
like Ayton.
Yeah, I know you like Ayton, so it's got to be a divisive guy. It might be Muncy. I was gonna say Conforto, but I think Conforto's too bad to fit into DeAndre.
Let's hope
category.
Ayton's comp isn't Conforto.
Yeah. So I would say I'd say DeAndre is probably closer to Muncy in there. And then
I'm trying to think of a guy that sort of has. There's a weird that's a good one. I'd have to think about it.
I'm going through the batters. I mean, I'm sure the pitchers definitely have some comps there too. I think from a personality standpoint, but if I'm the way I guess I approach this question is what is their importance to the team and what's the kind of their role? How long have you been there? What's the experience level?
I like it.
But yeah, I'd say those top there are pretty good ones to start. And yeah, I mean, look, the Lakers are not quite like the Dodgers. We're still a couple pieces away. I think the Dodgers have everything they need. They just got to execute better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get to some fun ones. David with the super chat. What is your Halloween costume? Are you turning off the lights or giving out candy? Best Halloween candy day. I'm definitely not a turn off the lights guy. However, I have small children, so I will be out trick or treating with my small children. But we're just a bowl on the front porch with the camera on, just hoping for the best. That's our approach to trick or treating. And then once we get home with the small kids, passing candy out. I'm not a Halloween. I hate dressing up, so I'm not a dress up guy.
Oh, boo.
My wife did convince me one time to dress up, and if anybody watches the show Friday Night Lights, we were Coach Eric Taylor and Tammy Taylor. That was the costume. probably the last time I dressed up. I do have a dinosaur onesie, actually, so that's a lie. I have like a dinosaur onesie snuggie kind of a thing that I wear. So that's my go-to. And best Halloween candy, I'm assuming Candy Day. He means like candy bar or something like that. I'm a Nerds Clusters guy. I think that's the greatest candy ever created.
That's a great one, but I don't think you really hand that one out to kids normally, do you?
They've got the mini. They've got the mini.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about, but those aren't common.
Totally. Hopefully more common this year. So those are my answers. What's you dressing up this year, Peralta?
I gotta figure this out. Me and the girlfriend were thinking about this.
Uncle Bragg has a girlfriend. No big deal.
No, it's not like that, Jeff. I genuinely don't ever dress up by myself, but because now there's another person in this household, I've got to figure out. Okay, we gotta do the couple household costume thing. Honestly, I thought this would be funny, but she brought up a good point. But I was like, we should just go as Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song because they seem to be in every LA sports shot this past year, and I was like, that would be a good one, right? And I was like, it's culturally appropriate for you. I don't think I could do anything like that for Macaulay Culkin, but yeah, I don't know. That was on the table. We thought about Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars in the
I could see that for you. I could see that for you.
Yeah, but I'd be going as Lady Gaga, Jeff. That's the twist.
Perfect. Sorry, I shouldn't have assumed.
Come on, man. Come on.
It's 2025. That's my bad.
I was just about to say it's 2025.
Best Halloween candy.
Ooh, best Halloween candy. Damn. I mean, would you consider licorice candy? Because I would say red vines. Yeah,
I think red vines suck.
That's hilarious. I love
this. Is one of my worst takes. You're gonna hate it. I think Twizzlers are better than red vines.
That's disgusting. You like plastic and other things that
I think I've said before, people convince themselves they like red vines. Like it's a thing people eat because it's in front of them. I just can't imagine being like, I love red vines, but you just said it. So there you go.
No, I love red vines, but I think I would say for Halloween candy specifically, I'd say either Tootsie Rolls or Twix bars. I think those are my favorite. I think Tootsie Rolls are disgusting too. Man, I love this. I love that we've been agreeing everything baseball related, but food wise.
Yeah. Twix are fine. I was when I was younger, I was just to eat the chocolate and caramel off the top of it and throw away the wafer because I was like, I just want Rolos basically. So yeah, there you go.
Full disclosure, I am allergic to like peanuts and stuff, so Snickers and other things are just off the table for me. So I've already had it working at a disadvantage. So if I've got to have chocolate, it's got to be like milk chocolate.
I get that. Our oldest is a peanut allergy. I was going to say Reese's would have been my answer a long time.
Oh yeah, see, I'm sure if I was not allergic, I almost guarantee you I would love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Tanner wants to know: have you ever tried a burger from Apple Pan?
No, not.
I haven't. I've heard great things, but no longer living in LA for me. So there you go. Thomas wants to know: what dessert are you going to eat to celebrate a Game 4 victory tomorrow night?
I'm a dessert. I'm an ice cream guy, but also there's
what kind of ice cream?
Ooh, okay. So I think I'm a mint chocolate chip guy by default. That one's always safe.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookie dough, also another staple of mine. That's a good one. I don't know, man. Like you get into like the artisan ice creams over here in LA. Like they've got like a nice ube malt crunch. It's Filipino American History Month, Jeff. I'm not sure if you know this. So fam for everyone out there. So if you have a Filipino friend or know anyone, go say hi and greet them. Filipino American History Month. They might not know what you're talking about, but the sentiment's good. So plenty of ice cream flavors in that realm. But yeah, I think tomorrow there's a new churro place that just opened up. Me and my girlfriend actually just moved. And so we're kind of doing the whole what's around us. And we just found a new churro place that opened. So that might be the move.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, I'm not like a huge dessert guy. It's probably just a drink is what I would be pouring myself. And
what's your dessert drink?
So the last couple I've been doing, I'm typically like either tequila or gin, and it's like a little lime and water.
I gotta be on the show when you're drinking that, Jeff.
Well, so I've had the cup. Trader Joe's sells jalapeno limeade.
They do. I've seen it.
Tequila with jalapeno limeade is fantastic.
That sounds pretty good.
Spicy margarita with some ice in it. So that would be my celebration. Now, the flip side is Aaron says, what's your favorite meal after a tough Dodgers loss? I just got Nashville hot chicken from a food truck. That sounds amazing, and I'm jealous.
That sounds so
also
good.
Tequila with jalapeno limeade goes really great after a loss like tonight as well. So it kind of it just serves all purposes here, I think would be my answer. So I might maybe and if I'm not drinking, then maybe it's like I could go for a bowl of cereal or something right now. That feels like it would cheer me up. I don't know.
That's not a bad idea. I eat cereal at night. I'm a pro eat breakfast foods whenever person. So I think my meal after a tough Dodgers loss, wow, I feel so spoiled. I was like, they haven't lost his playoffs yet, so I haven't had to think about this.
Seriously.
No, I think it's something that kind of fits the mood, something that you probably shouldn't eat, but it's gonna make you feel better because that's all you care about right now. So I'd say that's like in the pizza wings realm for me.
Okay. Yeah. I found these wings at Costco that are frozen, which like typically I would say frozen buffalo wings terrible, but in the air fryer, these particular ones are like genuinely
You
restaurant
gotta
quality.
you gotta shoot me that, man. I love
Yeah.
wings. So
So there you go. Shelly wants to know, Matt, what is your favorite restaurant?
that's what kind of are we talking like a nice sit down that I'm only going to like once a year?
Yeah,
Is this
I
like a
always say like if it's your birthday and you get to choose where you're going out to eat, where are you choosing?
damn, that's such a tough one, dude. Hit my DMs, but there's an omakase place in Torrance in Southern California that I really enjoy.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a
Um,
stupid question. Did you say an omakase?
yeah, sushi.
Okay,
Like where the
got it.
chef prepares it, and there's like no menu. It's just basically whatever he feels
Okay,
like making that day.
okay,
It's like a whole course thing. If you know,
okay.
Jeff. I gotta take you to a nice sushi spot.
It sounds expensive. Sounds
It
expensive.
does. I'm not. That's why you said on my birthday
Yeah,
when I'm not paying.
I love that.
Yeah, but if we're talking like a nice casual, I don't know, man. Like if we're talking like I just need like a meal, like I'm just
Yeah.
hungry. Like Chipotle is always a solid one.
Okay.
Are we
Do you put
talking?
cheese on your Chipotle burrito?
I do. I do. Even
This
though
is
I'm a
my other hot take that people hate is I think cheese is totally wasted on a burrito.
I mean, I can see why you'd say that. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it because I like cheese, even though I'm a little lactose and I pay for it later, whatever.
Worth
Like
it.
I said, this is in the realm of like kind of healthy. I'll talk myself into it, but I'm just really hungry. And like life of a sports writer and someone in sports, Jeff, like
Yeah.
for someone like me that doesn't have a lot of time to cook.
Yeah.
If Chipotle wants to sponsor me after watching this stream, I'm all for it. But I will just say, like, I just need something easy sometimes.
Yeah. Like I have not eaten yet dinner tonight, and it's
Neither
10.
have I.
So this is the reality. Mostly
I was-
because I was just nervous as hell and not hungry for the last.
Me
4
and you
hours.
both, brother. I was like, if I eat something now, I might not have it by the 8th inning. So
Okay, 2 questions. We'll get you out of here. Amanda
No
says
worries.
I have to ask you the convenience store question. This is my go-to question.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to ask you a Gatorade question because that's become a running joke. So
yes.
give me like your top 3 Gatorade flavors. That's the first one. This has become kind of a bit, and it was funny because Steven Nelson, Dodgers play-by-play guy, came on here, and I asked him this question, and his internet cut out like literally right before he actually answered it, and we never got back to it. So the funny story is he was on with Jeff Snyder and Clint Pasillas earlier this week, and somebody sent a super chat that was like, "Hey Steven, what's your favorite Gatorade flavor? Hashtag if you know, you know." And it was a great bit. And then he answered the question with the flavor that I actually think is like wildly overrated, the definition of average. So that's a long setup, Matt, to give me your 3 favorite Gatorade flavors.
I mean, you might be disappointed because mine are kind of boring.
That's fine. You're going to say what everybody else has said is number 1. Then I think it's mid. I already have a bad feeling about this.
Oh God, I'm nervous that it
Everybody agrees with you and not me if you do say this. So
okay. I mean, to me, it's the blue frost flavor.
Okay, that's good. We're good there. I think blue I have second. Yeah. Are you going dark blue, light blue, all of the above? What are we going?
Light blue, dark blue if they don't have the light one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I think the one I want to say this is the one you're thinking of, but I'm not sure if it is. Is it the orange flavor?
I think orange is fine. Everyone likes lemon lime. I think lemon
lime.
like
I do not like that
average.
one.
Yeah.
I am all right. That one is I will drink it if it's free and if it's there. Like if like so growing up in all my sports team, if all the moms just got a bunch of Gatorades, like the small ones that you can buy in like a multi-pack, and they had the yellow one in there, and that was the only one left, that's when I would drink it.
Right. Yeah, I'm a red guy. Red fruit punch is my number 1.
That's hilarious because fruit punch was probably going to be my 3rd flavor.
Let's go. Smart man. I like this. Okay, last one is the convenience store question is if you go into a convenience store, 7-Eleven, pick your favorite one, and you're walking out with a drink, something salty and something sweet. What are you walking out with? We'll go out with this one.
Man, as someone that a little peek behind the curtain, but given the recent Asian endorsements that the Dodgers have enjoyed, I have gotten the lucky chance to write for Dodger Blue. So I feel like this question's a little unfair, only because I know exactly how elite the convenience stores in Japan are.
Yeah.
So I will stick to the American ones because if I pick any international 7-Elevens, I feel like I'm cheating. So I'll stick here. If I'm walking out with a drink from 7-Eleven, it's probably an icy. Definitely a cherry guy myself. If they had the Coke one as the classic one, ooh, that would have been fire. Something savory or something salty. This is definitely in the chips category. I'll probably go hot Cheetos.
Okay. Love that. This
And
is
then
a great answer so far.
What's that?
I said this is a great answer so far.
Yeah. And if I'm going something sweet,
thank goodness they don't sell red vines at a 7-Eleven, because I mean, maybe they do. I guess they sell the square things. I just think of the Costco tub of red vines as if that's the only way they're packaged. But I guess they do sell a little rectangle thing full of them if you want.
Yeah, they do those. But no, I was thinking, like, does this count as like dessert? Like, should I pick a sweet because out of like the little ice cream chest that they got, or do I go?
You could go. Yeah, you could go ice cream bar. I think that's fine.
Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna go with an old classic. Never fails. Reminds me of my childhood, and I'm sure a lot of people that are about 30 plus will relate to this. But the strawberry shortcakes.
Okay, there you go. I love it. See, that's a great answer all around. I love you. I love the icy. I'm with you. If there's red and blue, I'm mixing them. If there's red and brown,
Slurpee. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Slurpee. Yeah. Sorry, misbranded.
Either one, you're good.
Look, I want to be politically correct on the show.
Yeah, somebody's going to tell me there's a difference, and I'm going to tell them they're lying. If you put both in front of me, I don't think I'd be able to tell you the difference between the two. That's
fair. But I wanted to be just completely honest and respectful to 7-Eleven and their branding. So Slurpees.
Fair. It's fair. So good. Well, that is Matthew Peralta @_Matthew Peralta. Go find him on social media. Follow him. Again, he is on the Lakers Nation channel a ton, and they do great coverage. There's a reason they're the biggest Lakers show, blog, coverage stuff that you will find on the internet. So Daniel Starkin, our guys over at Lakers Nation, Matthew Peralta, Trevor Lane, they do a great job. So Matt, thank you for being Clayton Kershaw, for eating some innings for us tonight in a blowout. And you get the Brent Honeywell Award tonight.
I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. I appreciate the hospitality. This has been a running joke between you, me, and Moreno for like the past year about me coming on one of these shows and finally getting to do it. I was going to think it was going to be one of these August games where the Dodgers just sucked and no one wants to watch the Dodgers anymore. But lo and behold, I get the call for game 3. How could I say no, Jeff? So this is a pleasure.
We saved you for the big one. So everybody else, we appreciate you joining us. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Thank you. If you're new here on the YouTube channel, go ahead, subscribe, ring the notification bell. We will be back live. And unfortunately for some of you, it will be me that will be back here live tomorrow, hopefully celebrating a Game 4 win. But DodgerBlue.com will have all the latest right here on our YouTube page. We've got coverage at the stadium, so we'll have all the post-game press conferences, Dave Roberts, Clayton Kershaw, Mookie Betts, all that stuff will be right here on our YouTube page. So enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. Dodgers lose, but guess what? We still say go Dodgers. And as a friendly reminder, we are still freaking champs.